Take it away. Okay, I will. Well, welcome back to today's lesson in which we are going to look at useful phrases for musicians. But don't go away if you are not a musician, because this will serve as great listening practice for you if you're preparing for an IELTS exam as an example. But more than that, you will learn some musical idioms on the second board behind me. It's not behind me now, but it will be. So it will help your general English ability. And you'll probably learn a thing or two, if you're not a musician, about music. So, if you want to be a good musician, if you want to be a working musician who people want to play with, then you need to practice. There's no getting away from it unless you're sort of Mozart. Now, I play the saxophone, and one of my role models is Charlie Parker, who played the alto saxophone. And he coined this phrase of spending some time in the woodshed, because he used to live on a farm in a shed, and when he lived in that shed, he spent 3 or 4 years practicing for 11 to 15 hours a day and became an absolute musical genius. So if you feel that you need to spend some time at home practicing, then you could say, I'm just going to spend some time in the woodshed. And it doesn't matter if you don't have a shed, because we understand from that phrase that, oh, right, yeah, it's become an idiom, really. He's going to go and do some practice, or she's going to go and do some practice. You might hang a please do not disturb sign on the door so that we're under no doubt that this person is practicing. Once you've practiced and you've got good, I hope it doesn't take 3 or 4 years, but it is going to take some effort, then you might want to find a band. Now, the old-fashioned way of doing that is by going to some open mic nights. Open mic, the microphone, meaning the microphone is set up with the speakers on the stage, typically in a pub if you're in the UK, or the upstairs room of a pub, and you kind of take it in turns to come and play a song. Maybe you have musicians already there, and you'll take it in turns. Maybe there's a list. You have to put your name down on the list so we know what order you're going to be playing in. But that's a great way of meeting musicians who are looking to get some experience, and sometimes some very good ones. Once you've started getting good, then sometimes it just naturally happens that people start going, oh yeah, you play this instrument. Maybe you can come and play with us. So word of mouth. Now that means that opportunities are coming to you just by people talking, by word of mouth. Then there are websites which will say things like lead guitarist required, needed. And then you can get in touch and have a phone call and discuss, see if they are the right fit for you. Once you've found a band, then you're going to want to put together a repertoire of music so that if you have a gig, as in a concert that you are playing, then you have some songs that you can play. And you'll probably spend some time jamming. Not pots of jam, no, it just means where you are improvising. You're creating your own music. You're not reading the music from sheet music, which is music written down on paper, but you're making it up. You're creating it yourselves. Now, at the actual gig, at the event, the concert you are playing, you might find that you are playing some covers. Now, a cover is a popular song made popular by a famous musician, and you are going to do sort of your version of the song. Some things you might say to your band if you are leading the band. You might say, take it from the top, which means start from the beginning, which seems a common sense thing to say. Or you might say, take it away, guys, which means let's play. Play. So probably you won't say anything to the audience before the first song. You'll just play the first song and then address the audience. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are... What's the name of your band? We are Hula Lula and the Lulus. I don't know what you're called. And that was... What was the name of the song you have just played? Yeah, past tense. That was In the Mood by Glenn Miller. I don't know. What did you play? Now, you probably won't introduce the band until a little bit later in the act, in the gig, because the audience have to see that the musicians are worth clapping, that they've done a good job, before you expect the audience to be like, woo, way to go. But when you feel that it's time to introduce the band, you might say, on drums, we have... On keys, which is short for keyboard. Yep, on keys, we have... Give it up for, which means make some noise for. Make some noise for Albert on the trumpet. And Albert will be like, yeah, thanks very much. Or another way of phrasing this, Jack Bongo Wongo on the clarinet. Okay? So, covers are songs that you redo. Tell them to start from the top, take it from the top. If I say, take it away, it might be like I'm saying, okay, you do a solo now. Take it away, Jack. And then Jack's like, boo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-boo-boo. Okay, talking to the audience, introducing the band. It's time now to look at some musical idioms. Doop-doop-doop-boo-boo. Hitting the right note. If you hit the right note, you have exactly the right impact for the situation you are in. To hit the right note. Maybe your clothes hit the right note. Or maybe your thank you letter hit the right note. It creates just the desired effect that you were trying to have. Like a broken record. I feel a bit like a broken record when I say, make sure you subscribe. Yeah, because I've said it lots of times now, and there are still people out there who haven't subscribed. Yep, so if I endlessly repeat something in the same way, I'm like a broken record. Think of it, okay? You've got a record. Got a nice old record player. You lift the needle up, pop it onto the record going round. If it's all broken, it's not going to sound very nice. It's probably going to play the same thing again and again and again. To be like a broken record, or to sound like a broken record, is where you repeat the same thing again and again. Face the music. If you have done something really bad and you then have to go and see someone who is in a position of authority, responsibility about it, then you're going to have to face the music. It's like facing the consequences of what you have done. Facing the music to face the consequences. Okay, to sing from the same song sheet. So if you and a colleague had to go and give a presentation at a different company, and you were perfectly sort of in harmony with each other. What I mean by that is like you've both got similar ideas about the project. So if person A was asked a question, it would have a similar response to if person B was answering. If you're singing from the same song sheet, you have the same understanding as the person in your group or the people in your group about that. Okay? To be on the same message as someone else. Music to my ears, good music. It's like, that is such good news. Yep, England won the World Cup. Or for some reason, some money fell out of the sky. Oh, great. But it's something you hear. It's music to my ears. Music to my ears. You hear some really good news. Your sister's just given birth to a beautiful baby girl. Oh, that's music to my ears. It's such good news. Let's, when do you want to meet, Benjamin? I don't know. Should we play it by ear? It means we won't make a definite plan now. We will have to, let's wait and see what happens, and, you know, I can text you. Play it by ear, to leave it unset, unfixed, and to kind of improvise a plan. The origin of this is playing some music, and you're not reading it from the sheet music. Yep, you're just hearing what the other musicians are playing, and you're playing accordingly. So to play it by ear, you're not playing from the plan. Okay. Does that ring a bell? So if it rings a bell, then like, yeah, I think I've heard that before. That is familiar. Yep, to ring a bell. Somewhere in here, your head, bell's going, I've heard this before. This is familiar. This is the bell going ding, ding. Yes, I know this one. Okay, good. Strike a chord is more of an emotional, is a deeper meaning. If the song you were listening to struck, past participle, struck a chord, then you would feel something. You'd be like, oh yeah, that song, it's so good. It just makes me feel something. Yeah, it makes me feel something. Such good English. To strike a chord, to create an emotional impact, to have an impression on you. To blow your own trumpet. If you think about the trumpet, yeah, it's a brass instrument. It's quite a loud noise. If you are blowing your own trumpet, you are saying, look at me, I am fantastic. I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this. It's like the trumpet is amplifying out into the world all of these things that you can do. To play second fiddle or violin. So I don't know if you watch any of the BBC proms. It's a concert series we have in the UK every summer. But typically the conductor, the man or woman who waves their sticks and tells them what to do, the batons they're called, they get a big old clap. Yep. Once they've done this, they turn around and they take a bow. Yep. And often they'll go, you stand up, first violin. The first violin is like the head of the orchestra. And they get lots of credit and everyone goes, haha, well done you, first violin, very good. But the second violin doesn't stand up. So if you're playing second fiddle, it means like first fiddle over here is doing the stuff that's going to get noticed, and you're taking a sort of a back seat approach. Yeah, you're more the sort of unnoticed one. To drum up support for. So, perhaps you're running a marathon, perhaps you're doing a skydive, let's go with the skydive one, and you need to raise £500 for charity to be able to do the jump. So you go around with your sheet saying, will you sponsor me? Please sponsor me. Can you sponsor me £5 or whatever it is? So you're drumming up support for your charity event. Yep. To drum up support means to create support, to find support, to encourage support. A whistle-stop tour. This actually has its origins in politics, where politicians who were trying to get voted would go round on a train, and they would only stop in towns for kind of a whistle stop. They would make a quick speech and then the train would carry on. So if you are on a whistle-stop tour, then you're going to a whistle-stop tour around India. Yep. Half a day in Agra, then on to Jaipur, then on to Jaisalmer, then down to Mumbai. Yep. Going to all the places, but not staying in them for very long. Call the tune. So you're in a band. Yeah. You call the tune. You're like, right, let's play Little Brown Jug next. You're saying what song we're going to play next. Now, in a business context or social context, if you call the tune, you're saying what's going to happen. Yeah, you're like the boss. To change your tune means, think about it. Yeah, you're playing a song. Yeah, you've got an audience, and then suddenly you're like, you know what? I don't like this song. Let's play something else. Everyone, stop. Guys, stop. Please stop. Yeah, let's play something different. If you change your tune, then you are changing your idea on something. So someone might say, oh, Benjamin, you've changed your tune a bit. You never used to be a tree hugger. You used to be all about, building as much concrete jungles as possible. And now you seem to want to hug trees and support the environment. Changed your tune a bit, haven't you? To change your tune means to change your viewpoint. To fine tune. So to tune an instrument is where you make sure that the pitch, the sound is in harmony with all the other instruments. It's normally tuned to the piano. Yep. So you might find that it's sharp or a bit too flat. And you have to make sure, I play the saxophone, so I either push it in a bit or I pull the mouthpiece out a bit. And it maybe, you're a little bit too flat. So I push it in a little bit and I'm fine tuning it. If you fine tune something, then you're making very, very minor adjustments to make it just right. Maybe you've created a remote control car and the steering is a bit off. So you get the car and you make some minor adjustments to it. To jazz something up. So you've created a birthday cake for your child and you're looking at it like, it's not very exciting. Let's get a huge dinosaur and put it on the cake. That's jazzed it up. So if you jazz something up, then you make it like more colourful and, more enjoyable, more rich. Jazz, when it came out, was like quite a sort of avant-garde and kind of controversial music movement. So if you're jazzing it up, you're adding a bit of spice. You're making it more fun. As usual with these videos, if I dare say so myself, there's been lots of content, lots of useful stuff for you guys. So what you need to do is try and remember some of this stuff. How, Benjamin? How am I going to do that? Well, luckily for you, there's a quiz to do. Have a go at the quiz, get 10 out of 10, and then I'll see you in the next video. Toodaloo!